Go ahead and look at some of the features along the left side of the screen. Within the grade book, or within your class level, is where most of the features lie for Engrade. Most of the things that you would want to do are done at the class level. For example, standards. We've tagged several standards on these assignments, and we're going to view how our students have done on these particular standards. So as you can recall, this is for the Common Core standards. When I click standards on the left side of the screen, I'm able to view this report. This information that we're looking at here tells me every standard for my subject and grade level, the number of times that it's been assessed, meaning how many assignments have been tagged to that standard, the average that my students have earned so far, and then each individual student score. And this is done according to my grading scale. So right now we're looking at the grade. If I hover over that student, you'll see that the percentage will appear. I also have the ability to view percentages only. One thing I want to point out is that you can actually sort. When you click the average, you can sort your students so that all of the students who are performing highly on the standard are grouped, whereas the students who may be struggling a bit more and the students that are really struggling are grouped together as well. So now I can say, okay, these students are really understanding 7RP1. I need to spend time with these ones while I push these ones ahead. This is really just a tool for you to view how your students are doing. It doesn't require a lot of additional work. All I've done is tag the standard when I created an assignment. I was going to create that assignment anyways. I was going to put in the scores anyways. I might as well tag the assignment with the standard so that I can view how those kids are doing on this particular standard. So as you can see, this gives you a lot of information and a really interesting picture of how your students are doing. You also have the ability to filter this. So we'll go ahead and click Filter. If I wanted to only look at one category, for example, tests, I could isolate just my test grades and look at those. If I wanted to calculate, instead of the average, the most recent score, maybe I want to know what, my students, the last time they were assessed, how did they do? Or maybe I want to know what's the highest that my students have ever performed on this standard. Where did they start? What's the lowest point they've ever been on this particular standard? So these calculations will assist with that. You can also display the percentage as opposed to the grade. And then if I choose to only show tag standards, that's going to isolate the standards I've covered in this class as opposed to showing me every standard for the whole subject and grade level. So if I click Filter Results, now you can see I'm only looking at the standards I've covered in my class. You'll also notice that now I'm seeing a percentage as opposed to the letter grade. And this is the most recent score as opposed to the average. You can print this at any time, and it'll show a graph of all of the students and how they've done on each of the standards. Also, you can view the trends. So if we select Trends, when an assignment or when a standard's been tagged more than once to a particular assignment, you'll get a trend line for how the students are doing. This will display, each time a student's been assessed, where have they fallen? So what kind of a trend are they on? Did they start out understanding the material and now they really are struggling? Maybe they really struggled at the beginning and they've kind of made a lot of progress and now they're really getting it. So even though this is a yellow box which indicates there is some struggle there, if we look at this trend, we can see, oh, the student really didn't get it at the beginning. Now they're mastering this material. Again, this is a tool for you. You don't have to tag your standards when you create assignments. However, this makes a really interesting picture of class performance.